What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. The current state of Warzone is an absolute embarrassment. It's a mess over there, and honestly, it's crazy to see just how far this game mode has fallen. Like, I remember when it released in 2020, it was all the rage. And even throughout kind of the following couple years, people were thoroughly enjoying it. And then, of course, Warzone 2.0 came out, and everybody was like, what are you doing? And it really feels like, yeah, they've made some positive strides, but the gameplay loop itself, the experience overall, has suffered greatly ever since its first release. And it's like they have failed to recapture what made the original Warzone as great as it was. And they've just kind of been going through the motions ever since. And this is where I really feel as if they're really hoping that Verdansk completely saves Warzone right now. They're hoping that this map and this map alone can remind players why they fell in love with Warzone in the first place. And I just think it is a terrible strategy, because I don't think Verdansk is going to somehow unilaterally save Warzone. It doesn't solve the cheater problem. It doesn't solve the myriad of bugs. It doesn't solve the gameplay loop being insanely boring. It doesn't solve the fact that Warzone has shifted away from being a battle royale and becoming more and more like TDM. It's not going to solve that. And I really feel as if Call of Duty, Warzone, and Activision have kind of lost its way with how to properly manage Warzone. There's been like zero content for Warzone all year. Like, yeah, we got Area 99, woo-wee, what a great map. No, it's terrible, it's awful. There's nothing redeeming about it. And in addition to that, the experience that players are having is insanely poor. But of course, yes, this one map's going to save everything, when it's clearly not. Like, I don't think when Fortnite brought back the OG mode, it was about saving Fortnite. It was about bringing players back. And yeah, Verdansk is going to bring players back, but they're just going to be reminded right away that, oh my gosh, this game sucks. It's fallen so far. The cheaters are everywhere. The matchmaking sucks. The servers are terrible. Like, don't forget, we were promised like a month ago that there were going to be all these quality of life improvements. Where are they? Where is the improvement to the anti-cheat? Haven't seen it yet. I see daily cheater clips all over the internet, and I just don't see the same thing in other games. Heck, we even got that news story out of Fortnite where they just completely called out a pro player for cheating, and they said, whoa, hey, you got to give all that prize money back to charity, and then like banned him from all future events. But if it was Call of Duty, it would be more like a, whoa, hey, don't do that again, please. But please come to our next showcase for Call of Duty next. We'll whitelist you in the future so you can keep cheating. It's totally fine. We'll give you a little slap on the wrist. But please continue playing our game. Please continue speaking nicely about it, because everybody talks bad about us. And rightfully so. Why shouldn't people talk bad about Call of Duty? What have they been doing to honestly do anything positive for this community in years? They haven't. They failed this community at every single turn. And it's unfortunate that Warzone just kind of seems like it's falling by the wayside in favor of multiplayer, which even then multiplayer is in its own terrible state, but it's because Activision as a whole has just like traded in quality for greed. They've just said, we are a greedy company now. We're using video games as a vehicle to maximize as much shareholder revenue as we can. That's what we're doing. Instead of making great games and making great experiences that are unique, we're just going to try to churn as much slop as possible so that our shareholders are happy. And that's really all that matters, because we don't care about our player base. We could care less if they're happy. As long as the shareholders keep pumping our tires, it's all that matters. And it's just so apparent. And it's really disappointing to see other people feel the same way. Like this from Charlie Intel. Warzone is an absolute mess with a joke of an anti-cheat, tons of bugs, and overall mess. And the future of Warzone relying on the upcoming Verdansk release to actually be good with good fixes does not inspire much confidence considering the track record so far. And I think that's so perfectly put. Like, yeah, it's great that Verdansk is coming back and we're going to have all these member berries to feed off of for a few days until the member berries start to wear off and we realize The game sucks. It's not like what it was in 2020 when we first started playing Warzone. It's not that experience anymore because they've continuously watered it down in favor of this brain rot slop that we see now. I'm not saying it was the perfect game when it released back in 2020, but it sure as heck was better than it is today. It sure is more fun than it is today. Like, trying to go play Warzone is a nightmare. And in addition to all this, I think one of the things that gets lost is the fact that, like, we've had, 6 different integrations for Warzone since Verdansk even became a thing. So, like, what? We expect it to be the same even though that, like, Warzone has taken on all these different hats throughout that time? Like, it might be different if, like Fortnite, it just slowly evolved over time and wasn't tied to what's going on in multiplayer. And it blows my mind that Call of Duty continues to want to tie Warzone directly to multiplayer. We need to have it integrated. We need to have it work. No, they should be separate entities. If you want Warzone to compete with Fortnite, to compete with Apex Legends, and be really good, which I think it most certainly could, you need to separate it because you've done nothing but harm it by continuously trying to integrate it and by trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, what were you doing with Warzone 2.0? That was a disaster. And you kind of have barely really regained any traction since. It's just sort of been lackluster. And that's why I say, like, the current state of it is embarrassing. Especially since you could look back to 2020, even though you can't play it because they shut those servers down, and see a game that was far better, far more fun, far more encapsulating the identity of Battle Royale, which I would not say Warzone 2.0 or the current state of Warzone does. Like, when I see clips of Warzone or when I played it in the past, it doesn't play like a Battle Royale game. It's all about getting your loadout and then trying to make sure that you can have as many redeploys as possible, because it's not about nurturing your one life. It's about just getting your loadout, and that's it. And it creates a very lazy meta, creates a very lazy gameplay loop, and one that is very unrewarding. And you top that with the matchmaking system that feels extremely unrewarding, a challenge system that feels extremely unrewarding, and it just creates this continuous mess of a lack of inspiration. And that's what Warzone has become. So I know that, you know, we can get excited for the return of Verdansk. We can look forward to it, but, like, we can't deem it as being the savior for Warzone, because I just don't think it will be. It's really hard to look at that and say, yes, this one thing is what's been holding it back. It's been the quality of the maps. As bad as Area 99 is, which it is, to think that that's what's holding Warzone back is just incorrect. Now, I do know that with Verdansk, they're going to try to fix more bugs and improve the quality of life even more. But, like, we saw it with Season 2. It didn't inspire a lot of confidence. And that's exactly what Charlie Intel said, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. Like, you can't just expect the member berries to carry you through. You need to follow through with some of these promises. You need to see real action within the game to see these improvements and actually have them bear some fruit. But right now, it's just been completely bare. And that's really the disappointing part. So if you're a Warzone player, I'd love to hear from you down below in that comment section. What is it that is truly stopping Warzone from being great, from regaining its spot as a top-end battle royale? Or if you feel it's in a great spot right now, tell me why I'm wrong. I'd love to hear that as well. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.